It's time for another morning espresso here on the SDH Network. I'm Jason Longshore. All the soccer news you need to know for Friday, January 3rd. Yeah, I had to double check what day it was. It's a holiday week. It's a little bit off putting at times, but we're getting back into a normal routine. MLS teams are just honestly a few days away from preseason camps opening up. So there will be plenty more talk on the MLS side with roster moves and such. Plenty of other things to jump into as well today. Let's start with the Philadelphia Union. They've hired Bradley Carnell as their new head coach. That was announced yesterday. 10 years of professional coaching experience. He was last with St. Louis City, also served as an interim head coach with the New York Red Bulls. 47 years old, probably going to play a somewhat similar style to what Jim Curtin did in Philadelphia. Ernst Tanner said his approach emphasizes a high press style of play while organizing a structured defense. That's kind of any team with a structured defense, I would hope. Additionally, he shares the club's vision for developing players, according to Ernst Tanner. We're confident he will bring a clear sporting philosophy that elevates the team and delivers a competitive season. Kind of basic stuff there from Ernst Tanner. I want to see how different Bradley Carnell's system would look to what we've seen under Jim Curtin. He, yes, should play young players. Philadelphia has a very strong academy, but this is a team that is, at least last year, was on the older side. They are in the process of remaking it. I will be curious to see what the roster looks like on opening day and how high pressing he will be able to play with the roster that he has. New England Revolution, they have been very busy as of late. They've transferred homegrown winger Esmir Bayraktarovic to PSV. That was announced yesterday. 19 years old, Bosnia and Herzegovina international. About $6 million is what the reports are saying. Also, a sell on fee for the Revs. 3 years with the first team in New England, 5 goals, 4 assists in 57 games. Was a top player in MLS Next Pro as well. A very, very strong young talent. We'll see how much time he gets at PSV. So on the outgoing is Baraktarovic. On the incoming is Luis Diaz, formerly of the Columbus Crew. The winger, 26 years old, Costa Rican international, signed for 1 season with 2 years of options after that. And he signed on a free transfer, last playing with Saprissa in Costa Rica. 6 goals, 14 assists in 86 MLS games during his time with Columbus 2019 to 2023. Also has played with Grecia, Herediano, and Saprissa in Costa Rica. 8 caps for the Costa Rican national team. Incredible speed for Luis Diaz, and at times for Columbus, he looked incredible. And then at times it didn't really come off. So I'll be curious to see what Luis Diaz shows up in New England when they get started. Also, reports out of France, including L'Equipe, saying that the Revolution are looking to add Ignatius Ganago on loan with an option to buy. He's currently at Nantes in France. He has not scored in 11 games, the Cameroonian international. And there are confirmations on both sides of the Atlantic that there are some form of negotiations going on between New England and Ganago and Nantes. Chicago Fire, they have transferred Tobias Salquist to Danish Superliga side FC Nordsjælland. That was announced yesterday. 29-year-old Danish center back, played 1 year with the Chicago Fire, 1 assist, 16 games across all competitions. Boca Juniors, they are continuing to chase after Alan Velasco. According to Ole in Argentina, the latest offer is up to $8 million from Boca for Velasco, and it's kind of 50-50, according to Ole, on if that would be accepted by FC Dallas. Teise in Argentina reporting that Miguel Borja, the striker at River Plate, the Colombian, is still on the radar of the Columbus Crew. The clause to bring him in, the release clause right now, allegedly in January, has dropped to $4 million. That's not outrageous. That is a very, I think, realistic kind of number for Borja, who scored 30 goals in 38 games for River Plate in 2024. Now, with Martin Di Michelis leaving the club, Gallardo coming back into the club, seemed like Borja's spot was kind of lost a little bit. He has said he wants to stay at River Plate. Columbus chasing him, and I wonder if they're chasing him again in a renewed way because potentially there could be some interest or a deal in Cucho Hernandez leaving the club. We'll all wait and see on that. That's a lot of things to play out. But according to Teise in Argentina, Borja is still being chased by the Columbus Crew. According to Uriel Yucht in Argentina, Inter Miami have started talks for 24-year-old Argentine forward Alexis Cuello from San Lorenzo. 8 goals, 36 games for San Lorenzo in 2024. Let's move over to the NWSL. The Houston Dash have hired Fabrice Gautreau as their new head coach, according to the Equalizer that broke last night. Gautreau has been an assistant coach for the North Carolina Courage, the Chicago Red Stars. He also finished his playing career here in Atlanta with the Atlanta Silverbacks in 2015. He is also the husband of Morgan Gautreau, two-time World Cup winner, currently playing for the Orlando Pride. And I'm not sure how many times in NWSL history you've had a situation like this where you could have spouses from a coach and a player standpoint on opposite sides in a match. Be fascinating to see how that one would go. All right, let's get your latest Dani Olmo update. Oh boy. Barcelona still think somehow that he will be registered today. It's outside of the deadline, which ended on December 31st. It is January 3rd. Barcelona might be as bad as some of the rest of us in knowing what day and date it is at this point. With Barcelona, for some reason, feeling confident that this would happen, there are other clubs in La Liga who are threatening to take the case to court if Olmo is registered by La Liga. There are precedents for not registering him at this case. Multiple precedents in this situation. Pedro Leon in 2014, Getafe could not register him due to the salary cap. He had the support of the Spanish FA. La Liga denied the registration in 2014. The player went to the court system and finally was able to play after 6 months. Don't know if that's going to help Dani Olmo here. Kike Garcia, 2016. He was unable to make his debut with Ibar because his documentation to register him arrived 1 minute late. La Liga did not allow him to be registered, and he had to wait 6 months before the next registration window to be able to play. Shinji Okazaka, he had a similar experience here at Malaga, a team that exceeded the salary cap. He took a minimum salary to facilitate his registration. La Liga rejected that, and the Japanese player had to terminate his contract and sign with Uesca. That's 3 different precedents saying that the league should not allow Dani Olmo's registration. If they do, it is going to go to court, and the other clubs in La Liga are going to push this. I don't know how this happens. So again, you go back to Joan Laporta, and how does he stay in his position if he has botched this to this degree? Meanwhile, at Barcelona, while all this is going on, they're looking for a new team chef. Robert Lewandowski has complained. Hansi Flick has backed his star striker. And they are not happy about the complaint from Lewandowski that he was not happy about how the eggs were prepared by the previous chef. So Hansi Flick went to the club and has asked for a professional chef to be recruited. Good job, Barcelona. You are really focusing on the important things. Let's go to the Italian Super Cup. Inter beat Atalanta 2-0 yesterday. Milan will play Juventus today. Christian Pulisic could be part of that match for Milan. He's been one of their best players this season, 5 goals, 4 assists. He's had an ankle injury. He's had a calf injury. He is back in the mix for Milan in this match, which will be the debut of new manager Sergio Conceição, who replaced Paulo Fonseca. The funny thing is Sergio Conceição's son, Francisco, is a winger for Juventus. The winner will play Inter, and that match will be on Monday. According to La Repubblica, Arsenal and Aston Villa are chasing Atalanta striker Matteo Retegui. Born in Argentina, converted his not citizenship, but his eligibility to play at the national team level to Italy. He was the most prolific Italian player in 2024, 16 goals in 35 games for Genoa and Atalanta. We'll see. We'll see if Arsenal or Aston Villa can get this deal done. We know Aston Villa is looking at forwards, Daniel Malen from Borussia Dortmund is in their crosshairs as well. And according to reports, Dortmund have declined the first offer that was made by Villa. Fabrizio Romano reporting that negotiations are underway for Kieran Tierney to return to Celtic from Arsenal. 27-year-old fullback. He's keen on the move, according to Romano. Talks will continue to try to get a deal done. Speaking of Celtic, they had an embarrassing loss yesterday, 3-0 to Rangers. They're still way up in the table. There's nothing to really worry about in terms of the league side of things for Celtic, but a very bad performance on the road across town at Ibrox to face Rangers. Also very bad in this match. A coin was thrown from the stands late in the game with the 3-0 lead, struck Celtic midfielder Arne Engels near the left eye. As Alistair Johnston said, it's just lucky it didn't hit him in the eye. He was okay and he was able to continue, but it's an absolute black eye to Rangers. It's embarrassing. They issued a statement afterwards condemning it. Sure, whatever. Let's actually see some action here. There's plenty of cameras in the stadium, I would assume. Find who did it, ban them from life. Ban them for life from attending games, for throwing things at players and putting their health and safety in jeopardy. This should not even be anything to debate. You can put all the statements out that you want. This is an absolute embarrassment in a 3-0 win. Your team is winning, and you're throwing things at players on the field. Get a grip. Get that person banned for life. There should not be any conversation about it. Let's go back down to South America. Enzo Perez, the legend at River Plate, has returned to the club from Estudiantes. 37 years old, he played 47 games, 41 starts for Estudiantes last season, and he was brilliant in all tournaments, all competitions. Very good with his passing, won the majority of his duels, was big time on creating chances as well. He's headed back to play for Gallardo at River Plate. Bayer Leverkusen has signed a young Argentine forward, Alejo Sarco. It was on a free transfer from Vélez Sarsfield. I'm baffled how Vélez didn't handle this better to get some kind of a transfer fee. He's not expected to come into Leverkusen's squad straight away. He's an Argentine youth international. He is a player for the future, according to Leverkusen. Really excited to see what he can turn into. Uh, According to their managing director, Simon Rolfes. With his finishing skills, he completes the profile of a modern center forward, has a promising career ahead of him. We'll keep an eye on Alejo Sarco at Leverkusen. Let's go back down to Brazil now. Flamengo, they have rejected an offer from Aston Villa, who is very busy in the transfer window so far. Villa chasing a fullback, Wesley, offered 15 million euro. Flamengo said no. They're looking for 25 million euro, but they also want to hold on to Wesley through the Club World Cup, which I love that Globo in Brazil is calling it the Super Club World Cup because of the size of it now. The Super Club World Cup, Flamengo wants to hold on to Wesley through that. 21-year-old fullback, he'll be in Europe sooner rather than later. Last year, there were two offers for Wesley, a 12 million euro offer from Bournemouth that was rejected, a 20 million euro offer from Atalanta that was accepted, but Flamengo did not want to have Wesley leave before the end of the round of 16 of the Copa Libertadores. Deal fell through. So Villa offering 15 million euro. That's not going to get it done. We'll see if they can up that offer and get the young Brazilian into Villa Park. That's going to do it for me on this edition of the Morning Espresso, a free-for-all Friday, according to John Nelson this morning on SDH Live. 9:05, you can watch on YouTube, you can watch on X, you can watch on Twitch, you can watch on Facebook. Make sure you are subscribed and following Soccer Down here on all of those platforms.